funny enough, when I first started life insurance, I'll tell you this. This is a great success story. I just got licensed and I literally started making content.
Mm.
And within, I want to say within like a week, I had over 2 million likes on one of my TikTok posts. 2
What?
million. Yes. And I had over 200 leads free. I didn't even have to pay. This is out the gate. I made $10,000 in commission
Mm.
within that first month and a half.
You got spoiled pretty quick, by the way.
Very quick, very quick. And so I just kept the ball rolling. I kept making more content and getting more leads.
What is up? Welcome back to the CA Power Player Podcast. Also, I don't know if we're going to put it out. I doubt we do today. However, I'm recording this on Halloween. So happy Halloween. That's why I'm dressed as like a circus ringmaster today, which is awesome. And we have a special guest. I'm really excited about this episode because I'm a big believer in brand, social media. The individual we're about to interview she's not only been an actress in Hollywood and a bunch of movies and shows, which is really cool, right? Kind of a unique side note. But she's also built a really good following on Instagram and TikTok by generating leads through video content online and is crushing it in our space. They call her the cash value expert. Please welcome for the first time on the channel, Ariadne Joseph. How are you?
I'm great. I'm great. Thank you. You got my name very right. Like it's so great because
That's awesome.
oh well, thank you. I'm so glad to be here. Really
Thank you.
appreciate
And
it.
I think too, getting people's names right is important because that is that's the one thing that it's really everybody's favorite, word in the world is their name, and I've always heard too
Indeed.
with phone cells, you want to use the other person's name as much as you can, to help build
Bingo.
trust and rapport. So there you go.
Indeed.
Yeah. Yeah. How did you get started on this crazy journey? Like you have a good following on TikTok. You have even 44,000 followers on Instagram. I think you said your last, your Instagram grew a lot in like 90 days. Talk about that for a second.
Yes. Yeah. So funny enough, when I first started life insurance, I'll tell you this. This is a great success story. I just got licensed and I literally started making content.
Mm.
And within, I want to say within like a week, I had over 2 million likes on one of my TikTok posts. 2
What?
million. Yes. And I had over 200 leads free. I didn't
Wow.
even have to pay. This is out the gate. I made $10,000 in commission
Mm.
within that first month and a half.
You got spoiled pretty quick, by the way.
Very quick, very quick. And so I just kept the ball rolling. I kept making more content and getting more leads and getting more and more and more. And then what happened with, and this is on TikTok. Now, what happens
Mm.
with Instagram, because I was also getting people from Instagram, my Instagram started to grow. I started at 7,000. I was an actor, as you mentioned, and I've never had a following, like, people that know me. And then I started making content about life insurance, and I just kept doing it. I kept being consistent, and that's the key. Just be consistent.
Hey, man.
And the algorithm picked me up, and overnight, it was literally like, it was 3 months, but it felt like overnight I went from
True.
7,000 to 44,000 followers and counting.
Wow.
And that's just consistency. And I'm not making posts every single day. I'm posting, but I'm doing batch content. So I'll choose a day, I'll make a whole bunch of content, and I'll just, dole them out each, every day for the week or what
Yeah.
have you. And yeah, that's kind of
Wow.
how it happened. Just staying
S-
consistent.
Super impressive. Yeah. Also, if you guys are listening, you're like, man, dude, I want to learn how to do this more. We're now doing social selling challenges. Ari is actually one of our featured coaches. I have her on a challenge here soon. So if you would like more information about that, you can go to codyaskins.com/SSC or click the link in the description below. I'm curious too, because how long have you been in insurance?
Um, this would be coming on 2 years.
Wow. Oh my gosh. And how much money do you think you've made collectively just from social media?
Just from social media. I would say about in the last 2 years, about 60,000 in commission.
That's good. That's solid.
Yeah,
And with
yeah.
that's without buying any leads, you know?
Without buying leads, I've only bought leads out of the 2 years I've been in life insurance. I've only bought leads one time, and
Wow.
it didn't work.
It's
It
a
didn't work
different
out.
it's different than someone seeing your face and,
Yeah.
reaching out like, "Hey, I like the thought of that," you know? Like
Mhm.
it is different, you know?
Yeah.
Man, that's amazing. What advice would you give to someone's like, "Okay, I understand how big social is. I understand there's 5 billion active users in the world using it, and everybody's online all the time."
Mhm.
What's some advice you would give to a newbie?
When it comes to social media, you have to learn the trends and follow
Mm,
the trends. And I'm old school, so I did not like the whole trend thing. I didn't, but once I rode the wave of the trends, I
yeah.
saw success. And you don't have to follow a trend to a T. You can make it your own, you
Mm,
know. But if you get on the using the sounds, like let's say, for instance, TikTok, you use the sounds that are most popular.
mm,
And what I would do, I didn't like the sound, so I would lower the sound and then put another sound there. Like it's so many tweaks that you can do to kind of make the content your own. But I would say, be original, be yourself,
mm,
be vulnerable. It's okay. Of course, you can pick and choose how you want to be vulnerable, but people tend to buy from people they like.
yeah.
So a million people are selling life insurance online, but you had hundreds of people coming to me because they trusted me. They could connect to the content.
Yeah.
I was relatable. So
Mm,
just make sure, stay down to earth, be relatable, be yourself, be a little vulnerable. Um, that's what worked for me. So that if you're a
yeah.
newbie, I would say where you're getting out there, just be yourself and follow the trends, make it your own, and stay consistent.
Yeah, because that's a good point. It's hard to be consistent with social. It's not
Hmm.
easy. It takes work. Also to like jump out and do social for the first time and be yourself. For whatever reason, people like change who they are or their voice changes, or
Hmm.
like different things happen, which I caught myself doing that over the years. Um, yeah, I mean, how do they, if they're like, I want to be myself. I want to share my story, but I'm super nervous. Are there some things that you've done to help alleviate that over the years? I mean, you were already, starring in some movies and stuff, so that makes
Yeah.
it a little easier, but
Yeah, I did. I would say I had a leg up because I'm used to being in front of the camera. However, I would say this, that a movie set, there's not a lot of people on a movie set.
mm,
You have the director, you have your crew, AD, you have all these different people, but they're not like in your face. It's almost intimate being on set, right?
huh,
Versus being in front of a bunch of people. I'm very shy. I'll say that.
interesting.
But talking to a camera or to a phone is so much easier than talking to a room full of people, I swear. So if
Wow.
you're someone who's like painfully shy as I am and at times I was kind of insecure about just being myself because I'm like, oh,
Mhm.
well, I can be goofy, quirky. Sometimes I can just be like, just quiet and kind of within myself and people think I'm weird or whatever. I got out of my own head and out of my own way and I just kind of started making the content and talking to folks and people loved it. Like
It's
I
cool.
guess because it's the phone and I don't realize that I'm talking to a whole bunch of people on the other end. I just see the
True.
phone.
True.
So
Yes.
I think
Yes.
that's what made it easier.
You need to get me. You gotta help me get in a movie. I'm like that sounds amazing. It sounds scary, but you're right. A lot of people are scared of like public speaking to groups, and getting in front of a room. And it is terrifying. Like it takes time to get good at that, and
Mhm.
like
Yes.
anything, like especially with social, it takes a
Mhm.
second. You've recorded, I'm sure, hundreds of videos at this point, pretty easily, if not more. What's one video that stood out that like, you know what, this video really took off and changed everything for me?
It so oddly enough, it was a video that I didn't even think would go anywhere.
That's
To
what
be
normally happens.
Yes, like I was kind of like I felt I don't know ambivalent about it because I'm
Yeah.
like, oh yay, it's taking off, but like, dang, why that video?
Mm,
But anyway, it was a great video nonetheless. But I was shocked by which video the algorithm chose. Right, so the algorithm gods blessed me on this video that I did. It was a duet with a guy who was in the water. He has his shades on, and he's telling you how to um, build wealth. 6 ways to build wealth.
mm,
And I'm in a duet. I'm just kind of like pointing and listening with some of my videos because I call that lazy content. And that video like took me to the next level. That's so that video did I think about 3 million, I believe.
wow.
And I had so many. I was getting like hundreds of followers every day. It was wild. It was a wild time. And I actually took screenshots of it to document because I'm like, whoa, I'm literally watching my social media grow every day, every single day. There were
So
hundreds of people following me, new followers, new followers, new followers, inboxes here, inboxes there. And one person said, hey, I saw you on the Explorer page. I'm like, what? I made it to the Explorer
let's
page.
go.
So yeah, it was that video, and that video was actually I just reposted that video yesterday,
Mm,
and oddly enough, each time I repost it, and that's another secret to social media is don't be afraid to repost old videos,
yes.
because everybody don't see your videos. You know what I'm saying? Like the algorithm doesn't always catch, and so they might miss this video, and you've posted it, and it's caught on fire, but they may have missed it. So then you post it again. So each time I post it, I get a lot of followers. And
Cool.
it does really, really well. So I'm like, okay, well, the algorithms favor this video and people like the content. So
Yes.
yeah.
100%. Yeah, it's wild too. Like, how many leads do you think you got from uh that video specifically of like interested in you helping them with life insurance?
Um, well, I guess I would have to count each time I
Yeah,
post.
if you just
So I would say the very first time I posted it, and I hit the 3 million mark, it was, I want to say, I had at least about 300 people that reached out,
mm,
right? But of course, when you get leads, not everybody equates to a sale.
yeah.
So out of the 300, I would say 150, about 100 160 people that I actually signed up. But I got about 300 leads from that video alone. And I'm just adding it up out of all the 2 times because I recently posted, so I only got like maybe 3 people that have come in so far. But the last 2 times,
Yeah.
that total was about 300 people that I got.
Jeez Louise. And were you helping them with an IUL or what were you?
Well, I offer IULs, term, pretty much anything you need. I got you. I'm
That's
independent life
amazing.
agent. So,
Wow.
yeah. So, what I would do, of course, I would, we do the Zoom, the introductory call. We talk about their needs, their finances, all these different things, what they want to do, if they want to leverage, if they're looking to add to the portfolio, what have you. And
Mm,
then once we figure out the need, then I can place them in the product. And it's not always an IUL. So the IUL is a really great way to kind of pull the people in. But I mean, they may not be the best fit, and that's okay. It's not necessarily a bad thing because there are other options. You have whole life too. So some people find, okay, well, I prefer whole life, or they'd say, hey, well, let me do a term, or it's for my
right.
dad, or something like that. So then, I'll fit them in. But more often than not, it is IULs that I am selling for sure because that's what the people are coming for.
Yeah. What's the average size of an IUL like premium wise that you typically sell for those that are really interested in IULs
um, on average, I would say about $200 in premium per
a
month.
month? Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
hmm
Yeah.
Unless it's
Y-
like children's policies.
True. True.
Sometimes people pay less, when they're younger, of course.
Yep.
But I seem to get a certain age group or demographic depending
Mhm.
on where the leads are coming from. So from Facebook, I get an older crowd. I get like between 30, like late 30s, 60s, somewhere in that area.
Yep.
And then Instagram, I get like the crowd between 25, maybe a little less than that, but 25. I say about 25, 40, somewhere in that area.
Mm.
And then TikTok, I get the younger crowd. So just depending on, where it's
Yeah.
coming from. If they're younger, they'll go for a lower premium, and then they'll just do lump sums or things like that. If they're older, they're ready to use it or leverage it to make investments and things like that. So now they're,
Yes.
they're wanting to pour more money in. So, but I say average
Cool.
200.
That's awesome. If they're listening and they're like, you know what, I like the sound of this. I love the thought of being able to do this. I don't know that it's for me or that I could pull it off. I was an actress. I'm not Ari. What would you say? Like, if they just say they showed up
Mm-hmm.
to the challenge as an example, and they spent some time. Maybe they spent some time with you as an example, and they like learned and listened. They were coachable, and they
Mm-hmm.
actually applied the information that you share and they were consistent with it. What's the odds that they actually generate leads and make money from this strategy?
Hmm. What's the odds? Well, I don't know. I don't know how to answer that question because I don't want to like say, oh, well, 2 to 1.
Yeah, 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 yeah,
um,
yeah, yeah.
because certain methods work for certain people too. Like, yes, you can do the method of, let's say, batch content, that type of thing. You're making content on one day and then you spread it out.
Yep.
Those methods really work, right, for anybody.
Mm-hmm.
But then when it comes to how you present your content, and if you did it the way I'm doing it, but it doesn't work for you because your personality is different or your approach is different, what have you. I can't really say, like what the odds would be. I don't
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
I think, you know what? I'll say this. You will see success. The odds of success, I would say, is very, very high if you're consistent.
Cool. Yeah.
The algorithm is going to pick you up. It's just, I mean, and I'll tell you, I'm telling you this from experience. If you're not consistent and you start to like not get as many likes and things like that, the algorithm just kind of like
Mm,
ew, get away from me. The algorithm favors someone who is consistent, if that makes sense.
100%.
Yeah.
And you know what? That's a great point because that's true in social media. It's true in sales in general. It's true in insurance. It's true in life. Like the more true in health, working out, dieting. Like the more consistent you are, that's a good message
Yes.
too. You know,
Yes, it is. Because I mean, I'm not, I haven't always been the most consistent person when it came to posting.
well,
And, sometimes it's still a struggle. I'll tell you
sure,
that right
sure.
now. It's still a struggle. But yeah, I mean, I've seen the most success. And if I want to continue to be successful, then I have to push myself, even
Yeah,
when I don't feel like doing it or posting it or whatever. Got to push yourself. So,
amen. Is there anything? Well, was there anything you did to help you become more consistent with it? Is there anything specific that comes to mind?
yeah. So creating a schedule,
Mm,
a routine, morning routine. And a part of the morning routine would be posting content.
cool.
And if I've chosen a day out of the week as my batch content day, let's say I do Sunday, right? And I'll just take a couple of hours on Sunday, get all dressed up or not, and make content. And I'll have a bunch of videos ready for the next week. So if I want to pop out maybe 5 videos Monday through Friday, then I'll have 5 videos ready. And then I can just recycle content on the weekend if I don't have enough content for or new content for the weekend.
Yep. Yep.
And just making it a part of your daily routine. When you get up, after you brush your teeth, you wash your face, you do your meditations, whatever you do, and then boom, you do your social media, you're done. That's out of the way. You don't have to think about it. Now you just check your social media, of course. You reply to folks, you send them, direct them wherever you need to direct them, however you have it set up. And that's it. Like it's super easy. I call it automating. You
Mm,
automate it. So this is how you automate your social media
I
content.
like
You
that.
make the batch content, you set it up for each day you're gonna post your video each day. There you go.
Yeah. And then it happens, and hopefully it does well, and you get some leads, and you help some people. It's really cool.
Indeed, indeed.
Um,
Now, one thing I will mention though,
Please.
which is absolutely very important. When it comes to social media, I do recommend, if you can afford it, get a social media coach. Find someone,
Yeah.
there are great coaches out there. I have one that I personally love. Her name is Candy. She's great. And you can find her on social media at iCandyland. And she's on TikTok, Instagram, but she's great. She's really great. She has a
That's awesome.
lot of strategies that are very effective. But I always say, if you want to be the best in any space, you should definitely get a mentor or coach.
Always.
Yeah.
Phenomenal advice. Always the case too. Yes. If they want to follow and
Mhm.
keep learning from you, where can they find you?
They can find me on TikTok, Cash Value Expert, Instagram, Cash Value Expert, and you can find me on Facebook as Ariadne Joseph, Cash Value Expert.
I love it. You're amazing. Thank you so much for sharing your story. Congrats on your success, and thanks for being on the
Thank you.
podcast today.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, you're very welcome. Thank you guys also for hanging with us and listening, man. If you're listening, you're like, wow. Um, I've been nervous about social. I haven't got outside my comfort zone, but I'm thinking about doing it. I've contemplated social. Then you will love one of our social selling challenges. We're bringing in industry coaches to help coach you on how to generate a following and leads by posting video content online. We'll post the link below at codyaskins.com/SSC for you to learn more and join one of our future social selling challenges. Thanks for hanging with us. Hope you enjoyed the podcast. Go follow Ariadne. Huge thanks for her for being here, and we'll see you on the next episode of the Power Player Podcast. Adios.